Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Thursday, March the 16th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Getting lucky, part 2 with Walmal. As always, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Walmal, yesterday I talked to the boys and girls and non-binary traders about getting lucky. And part of getting lucky is doing the work that enables you to, you know, get into a position where you can get lucky. Where if we look at this last M5 bar, we know that I like to call the 40s the launch pad. So there was an opportunity to get in there right at 40. That puts yourself in a position of luck. Now, you could have gone in at 45 with the M5 candle color right there, or you could have gone in at the open when it went from red back to green. But the thing is, you have to do the work to make yourself lucky. And I added the smart range here at the top. You can see the current range is 4.6, and from one bar ago it was at 15.1, and then 2 bars ago you got 6.3. And if you look at the frequency distribution of high minus low, here you can see 6 pips or more is over 54% of the time. That means if you take a trade at the line, you probably have a chance of getting at least a pip. What say you, Walmal?
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of. I was thinking as you were talking there. I was thinking about the idea of getting lucky, and but the thing is, I don't. It's funny because I don't know if I'm a necessary believer in luck as much as I'm a believer in positioning yourself where you're supposed to be to take advantage of what's happening, and whether it goes in one direction or the other, that's the luck part. But the thing is, because you could go, and we've talked about this before, where you do every single thing right. I think I talked about this in the last video that I was on. You can go and have everything in your direction. Hourly's in your right direction, the M30 is in your direction, the M5 is in your direction. Let's say you're trading a flip-flop box. You got the flip-flop box going in your direction. You're above the or below the indicator 2, which is the EMA 5. Whatever you've got for my trading world. That's every single thing, and I had a trade go against me. That's we call it bad luck, or just call it market direction, whatever you want to call it. But here's the thing that matters: you need to go and make sure that you're doing that consistently. And that's the thing, is the consistency. Because what that consistency does is it allows you to take advantage of it. And so, as you'll tend to get lucky more often if you're putting yourself in the position to actually take advantage of it. And what happens is, if you don't do that, you miss trades. And and I know that you've said this, I don't know how many times on these videos, and I know I've thought it probably a million times, but the reality is, if you don't take advantage of the opportunities, then the statistics go out the window. Everything goes out the window, because the reason why is because when you flip a coin, if you flip the coin, and let's say you call heads, I call tails, it's if you want to call it luck, whether you get your heads or not, that's that. The thing is, we don't know. But the thing is, we can flip that coin, 10 times, and you could potentially go and, win it, 8, 9, 10 times in a row. And that's just the way, the way it happens. But the thing is, if I don't take all the opportunities for the statistics to take over, which may mean another 30 flips, I'm going to be on the downside. Because if I quit where I've lost 7, 8, 9 times in a row, then I've taken a big L. But that's that gets, and the thing is, no, we're not talking about money management here or risk here, but really that's where it comes down to. You got to take advantage of putting yourself in the right spot, so that when luck smiles upon you, you take advantage of it. And and the reality is, you take your L's, when you need to take your L's, and and you just move on from that. But if you got your money management in place, you got your risk management in place, it may be aggravating, it may be emotionally draining, but the reality is it shouldn't matter to you, because it doesn't matter what happened, the last trade doesn't matter. What matters is at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year. That's what matters. And we just got to make sure we place ourselves, again, in front of all the things that we have put down in terms of rules, or, and make sure that we're in position to take advantage of it when Lady Luck goes and smiles on us.
Exactly. So once again, you can see the current bar is now 6.3 pips. We cracked the 60, and I started working, preparing for the video, so I didn't get a chance to get in at 40. So yeah, it's just like, oh man. But you know what? There'll be another opportunity. And when we look at these statistics, there's a lot of different trade setups that I have put out there. So the weekly open and gap, you can see that the pound filled it, but when did it fill it? It filled it yesterday. I mean, there was this huge gap up, and then it made a weekly high a couple of days ago, and then it just fell back down and filled that gap. So if you were looking for gap fills, there was an opportunity. And the thing is, once again, statistics are on your side. It's almost like hitting these pivots. You can see we've got a missed pivot from about 4 days ago. And it's one of those, well, is it going to hit it or not? And see, we crossed the daily open. Funny, this broker says the daily open's 47. My other broker said it was, what was it, 68, Walmal?
Yes.
That's just too funny. And the rats. Here's another statistical trade. We know that price likes to get out of that rat zone, and right now we're 11 pips above the smart rat and 12 above the dumb rat, or the original rat. And here, once again, hitting that pivot. And you can see we took out, I was going to say we took out the monthly. We haven't taken out the weekly at 1980. And we took out today's, but you can see we've got a missed pivot from, actually we took this one out. Got one from 29 days ago and one from 4 days ago. You were going to say, Walmal?
Oh, you covered, actually.
Oh.
You said exactly what I was going to say. But, yeah, just going back to the topic of luck and such, again, if you look back down there at that 40, there was a perfect setup for a really nice flip-top trade, for a nice rat trade, for a nice, 3-dot trade, for, there was just so many opportunities there. And, you could have either picked up a pip or two, or you could have gone and picked up 20 pips,
Right.
And but the thing is, it's so like, earlier in the day, I had gotten into a trade where it ran against me. I was able to get out, at, just basically break even on the trade. It's like, well, it's what happens to me. Well, yeah, it does. It happens to everybody. But the thing is, it doesn't mean that you don't take the next trade. It means that you just make sure that your money management's in place so that you can take the next trade. Because, like on that one trade, I lost, I'm looking at it right now, 3 pips. What's 3 pips in the scheme of things? I lost 28 pips for the day. And this, if I had taken, by the way, the news just dropped.
Okay.
We got red news that just dropped. But, you could have easily, if you'd taken that trade, easily picked up 20 pips.
Yeah, and right now on the screen I've got the daily wick zones. You can see here, once again, statistically, price is going to close outside of the wick zone 69% of the time. So it's just one of those things where there's just so many different trades. Oh, wow. There's a big spike I just put up in M1. It looks like it came right down to the daily open and then returned.
Exactly, it's what it did. And it's funny though, your theory that it likes to run it up before it runs it down did exactly that. Now it may continue to run up, but if you're a news trader, and you want to go and take those risky trades, you could have picked up 10 pips on that trade. If you just went and straddled it with just that idea alone,
Right.
you're gonna win all the time. No, you're not. But make your stop losses tight, and put out there something that over time will win you money. Now that may cause you to do some work though, because to be lucky on that, part of what you have to do is, like you were saying in the very beginning of the video, you got to put some work into it. You got to figure out, how far does it usually like to run against one direction or the other direction, so that you can figure out your stop loss. Then you got to go and figure out, how far that it likes to run in the other direction, so you can figure out where your TPs are. And then you got to figure out, okay, doing all that, statistically, how many times does it win using that scenario? That's a lot of work. But, trading is not something where it's not an ATM machine that just gives you money. No, you got to work at this. It's funny because it's probably, I enjoy it, so I'm not going to go and complain about it. And it's made me some nice money. But at the same time, I will go and say that it's also probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. And yeah, maybe done earlier than most people have done. Well, usually done in 2 hours or 3 hours. But there's a lot of work that went into doing what I did to figure out what I'm doing. And while I'm doing it, it can be very, very tough work. And let's just be honest with ourselves and know that and put the work in.
Right.
Then, bringing it back to topic, then you can be on the side of lady luck more times than not.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, looking at these frequency distributions and looking at the smart ranges, and see, I'm only using the last 100 bars here on the smart range, because I just mainly want to see the range. I'm not really that concerned about the percentile, but in the frequency distributions, this is where I know. So it's like hitting 6 picks, yeah, but then 7, 8, 9, that's less than a coin flip. So it's like when they do happen, it's just like, okay, let's take the money out, so we know what to expect. So if you go from 40, say, to 45, well, chances are you've already got 5. You might get 6, and then as it pushes up, you can see when it goes past 10, you're really pushing your luck there. But then again, it seems like maybe 1 out of 4 of those bars is going to, go past 10, 27% tile. So, it's about time. So, fellow traders, I hope that helps. Remember, to get lucky, it's up to you, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.